Alright, for now, the slide is clean. Got all the Gunzilla out of there. We're not wet anymore, so I'll lay that aside. And I like to save my barrel for last. And we move on to that guy. Now, I used to use the toothbrush and go out all the nooks and crannies and crevices with the toothbrush, but that's extremely difficult. Not necessarily the toothbrush part, but getting all of the cleaning solution out of the frame when you're finished. So, again, I don't know if this helps to see on the white or not, but we can see that that's fairly dirty. So again, at least this time, toothbrush aside, and Q-tips have become my best friend for this. And this is kind of a wax on, wax off thing. I found that if you apply the Gunzilla pretty wet the first time, you can basically wipe it off with the rest of the Q-tips, and you don't have to reapply it again. It does quite a nice job of. So this is the only Q-tip. Well, most likely anyway, depending on how far this takes me. If I can wet the whole thing here pretty good, you can see it kind of smearing away that powder residue. Try to get it everywhere you can see powder. Now I get the inside of the magazine well with a patch, and then wipe that out with a paper towel once I'm finished. So we'll get kind of in that magazine well. Now you can see I've managed to make a complete mess of my Q-tip. I haven't managed to get any cotton fibers in there. Be careful not to lose any cotton in your gun when you're doing this. Now I'm going to go ahead and use the other side. It appears I didn't get enough Gunzilla in there. So I'll go ahead and wax on some more. Just to be sure. You want pretty much everything that has powder on it nice and wet here. That's the name of the game. And again, this gun's fairly clean. These are my own hand loads. I'm still getting rid of some of my factory loads in my .45 caliber handguns, and man, let me tell you, the difference is night and day between having to clean my own loads and having to clean the factory ones. So I've got that nice and wet now, pretty much everywhere that had powder, again except for the magazine well. I'm going to do that in just a second. So you can see there's some, it's all shiny. I've got that pretty well. Yeah, you can kind of tell on the camera there. Pretty well lubed up. So now I'm just going to take, and go from one end to the other, and just take dry Q-tips and rub off all of the wet Gunzilla and powder. And as I say, I love cleaning the OD guns because you can see exactly where the powder is. I don't have to clean an area and clean it and clean and clean it until I can see my Q-tips or pads coming clean, patches that is. So I'll use one more Q-tip here just to be sure that I've got everything nice, clean and dry. Alright, so now I'm off to the magazine well. So I'm just going to put just one squirt of it on the on a patch there. Take that on my finger, rub in there from both sides. Now be sure you don't leave this wet. You want to make sure and dry that magazine well out once you're finished. I've never had any problems with myself, but I'm sure there's potential to have issues. Alright, so now we get that area on the pesky slide rails again. So once again, the credit card trick.